going on, folks? So back in the shop here and got a couple of projects. We're getting ready for our not our Dune Fest rally. That's in August. We're getting ready for our Odyssey rally that's going to be in Sand Hollow, Utah. That's coming up in March. If you're interested in that, we have some information on our website. You can also post some comments down below and I'll answer questions about that. But anyways, before we go, I'm going to be taking that machine, which is my daily writer, and I'm also going to be taking this machine, which is new to the channel. You'll guys see some upcoming videos on that in a little bit, but we're really excited about having this one. I'll do like a preview video about that in a little bit. For this video though, what I wanted to talk on is this and the bumper. So for any of you guys with an Odyssey, you'll know that the bumpers is pretty common for them to get pretty chewed up. So you can see mine isn't terrible, but it's obviously been run into a tree or two, and we want to address that. So finding a good bumper in good condition, not an easy thing to do. If you're a really good welder, you could just cut out the middle bar and put in a new bar, which at some point I may actually try to do that. I'm not a great welder. I dabble, but right now what I'm actually going to do is we have our aftermarket Baja Bumper, and this has been floating around in the mail. I've sent it to a couple of other guys for them to look at and stuff like that, but really excited to finally have it here because we're going to take a look at it. So this just showed up. I've already kind of opened it up here a little bit and see if I can get it out without making a mess. So pull this out. All right, set this down. I'll get all the packaging and stuff off in a second. And then I think inside of here, yep, got some mounting hardware. And then in the bottom, they also have skid plate. All right, there we go. Okay, so I'm gonna get the rest of this unpackaged and everything, and then in a little bit, we're actually gonna start replacing that bumper with this one. So stay tuned and watch the process. All right, so here you can see the bumper. I got it all unwrapped and everything. So that looks all nice and shiny, fantastic. So what we're gonna do here is, I've never done this before, but like all my videos, you guys get to learn with me. So there's 3 bolts here, and they look to be, got the socket here, 17 millimeters. So these are 17, 1, and then 2, and then there's a third one way back there on both sides. And then we also have to do these front bolts as well. So I'm just gonna get after that, and we'll get her done. All right, so the next thing we got to do are these two bolts up here, one there, one there. Then I think we should just about have it at that point. All right, just two more surprise bolts. I didn't realize they were here, but I've got two. I think they're 10 millimeters. So I'll hit them with my little impact, see if it'll do it. I didn't think it would. Sorry, I think these are 12 millimeters. All right, fresh battery. That'll get the job done. Okay, I think at this point, I'm gonna remove this strap. There we go. So, definitely the top bar is bent pretty bad. These corners are not too bad. That one's actually in really good shape. This one here is pretty beat up. So I may try and save this later, put a new bar in or something like that, cut it, re-weld it. It's a little beyond my skill level at this point, but why not try? All right, so before I actually go to remounting my new bumper, I'm gonna go ahead and just clean up all my bolts and hardware and everything. There's obviously a lot of debris and grime and all that sort of stuff on it. So I'm gonna do that over at my bench top, the yellow thing over there. Wire brush wheel, or whatever you want to call it, bench top grinder with a wire brush wheel on it. So I'm gonna get after that and get all that stuff clean, and then we'll start putting on the new bumper. All right, got my bolts all nice and cleaned up. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna check the threads, because some of these might be just a little, maybe not in this greatest shape thread-wise. So I'm gonna have to play with that a little bit. Some of these nuts are pretty rough. So I'm gonna look into this, and then we'll come back. All right, since these shackles are looking pretty bad, I'm just gonna go ahead and wire brush the things completely clean, and then I got some paint. The thing I wanted to point out was kind of this interesting, I believe these are cast, and they had this kind of nice, neat little architectural part to it. So anyways, let's get grinding. All right, time to give these things a quick coat of paint. All right, so I finished painting the rest of these without filming it. Just wasn't really needing to show it. But got all my brackets here looking good enough. Not powder coated, but these brackets are going to get scratched up anyways, kind of in the position where they're at, so they don't need to be perfect. But all right, so it's time to get these things back on the machine now. All right, so it's been a couple days actually since I took this apart, so I'm going to have to try and figure out how to put it back together. But I think the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna put the bumper up and then put these 2 bolts in over here. Make sure you can see them. Yep. And then we can worry about these center brackets and then all these little guys. So let's see if we can get that situated. And let's see if we have any fitment issues. Looks like it should fit right in. So a little tight up top. To work through that. See how tight it is up there? Yeah. It's a little tight up here, so what I'm gonna, and I can actually see, I think it was the welding, it kind of closed this in a little bit. We have to get something to spread this out a little bit, probably on both ends. So I'm gonna take care of that real quick. All right, so my plan is I'm gonna put some paper over this and then I'm gonna just use a wrench. I don't have to open this up very much. So just to protect the paint that's on here, stick that over. Let's tighten it up. That's probably all I needed. Yep. And the same over here. All right, so I got the tabs bent open. I think we should be good now to go ahead and install this. Slide it in, stick the first bolt. That's in. That's in. All right, we'll tighten those up when I'm ready. I'm gonna move the camera back just a hair. So the next bolt that we have to put in here is going to be this bolt right here. So we're going to have to swing this out till we find it. It actually worked out pretty good. All right. Same over there on this side. Looks like I have a little bit of alignment problem on this side. There we go. All right, so the next step we got to do is reinstall these. Now, I think you could actually get away without putting these on, but I'm sure putting these on actually makes the whole front area a lot stronger. So if I was running in the sand dunes all the time, I don't know if I'd be too concerned about this, but I got them, so no reason not to do it. So that's gonna go right there. Looks like my paint mostly matches. I don't know if it's perfect, but hopefully it's close enough. I think we had the bolts going through the top on the first two and then coming in from the bottom on the second two. So on the back ones, you can't really stick the bolt in because it's going to hit the foot tub. So you actually got to stick it in upwards. And then you put the nut on the top and the back. All right, at this point, we're just gonna cinch it down. So my 14mm socket wrench. So at this point, we have the skid plate left to install. Now, the skid plate has 4 holes. There's one here, here, and then one there and there. And I looked underneath there. I don't believe there's actually any screw points for these. So I think the idea is to zip tie them. When I get everything actually in position, we'll verify that, and then I'll let you know. But the last thing I want to do before I do anything is that the new bumper does not take advantage of these 2 holes. We do want to cover these back up. So I'm just going to put the original nuts back inside of it. Just like that. That way we're going to prevent any water debris from getting inside of there and potentially causing any corrosion issues or anything. All right, so I think I found the answer here. You don't use zip ties, you actually use these little guys. These will provide how we're gonna mount it. Just gotta figure out how this is supposed to work. But anyways, I think these have something to do with it. So I'm gonna try and figure this out. All right, so these little hooks, they go over like this. And I think we're actually gonna come in from this side. And then once over, they're supposed to kind of bend into shape. And then there we should be able to put a nut through that. It seems like it's a little large. Now my thing is pretty well bent. This thing's been beat to pieces. Future project, probably have to cut it out, but we'll see. I think that's what I'm supposed to do. What I don't know is, so this goes down here. Go here. Yeah, okay, so this wants to be kind of like right here. Not sure how well this is gonna work for me. There's the one. Got a second one for the other side. So I'm putting it in orientated this way. I think that's how it's supposed to go. So I'm going to remove this rubber piece. I don't know if it's because my bottom end is so beat up or what, but it does not feel like it's going to fit. So I'm just going to remove this piece of rubber and just use this hanger like this. I think maybe that'll give me the clearance that I need over here. Certainly seems a lot better. All right, same thing on this other side. I'm removing the rubber boot. You may not have to, but it feels like these rings are just on the small side. Okay. All right, so something I figured out, unfortunately after the fact as usual, but these bolts here actually need to go in from the bottom. I have them up from the top, but that's not gonna work that way. So I'll just reverse them real quick. The reason for this is that this pan, it's not going to fit because there's a little bit of bolt hanging below here. So that's why I'm reversing them. Okay, now that I reversed these so that the nut is on the top and the bolt goes through the bottom, hopefully we'll have clearance, because I was fighting this a little bit. Hopefully this will give me the clearance I need though. Oh yeah. Make sure you can see that nut, the bolt, it's right there. Okay, that actually got started, so that must be about right. Yep, that was it. Okay, now we just got to tighten these things up. All right, so these are just 12 millimeters. All right, just a quick note. I thought these were 12 millimeters, but they're actually 7/16, which is a little bit of a pain. They have kind of an odd shape, but it is what it is. All right, so I wasn't able to get the back ones in correctly because it was too tight. So what I did is I lowered the pan, took the front ones off so I could drop the pan a little bit. Hopefully this will allow me to get my wrenches in here, get things tightened up the way they need to be tightened up. Still pretty tight, but I think this will do. Yeah. Okay, that did that. Now, we're gonna put so I think we finally got it installed. A few little things here, so I'll note them real quick. First thing is, when you put these bolts in, make sure you push the bolts in from the bottom up, put the nuts on top. Otherwise, there's not enough clearance against the skid plate here. So all three of these would be bolt through with the nut on top. Now that might have been how it is by default from the factory, but my first two when I took these off was bolts down. So maybe my front bumper had been removed before and replaced at a different time. The other thing is the little rubber pieces that came with the mounts. I removed them. Maybe you could get it on with these on, but it seemed really, really tight. I don't know if it's because my bar is all bent up or anything or all that sort of stuff. But otherwise, you know, it wasn't too bad. A little bit back and forth, but overall, I think I'm liking it. Nice and compact, looks nicely painted. And we got a nice skid plate underneath of there now. I'm sure it's gonna get all beat up to pieces over time, but I'm mostly running the sand dunes, so it should be okay. All right, so there you got it, guys. Got the bumper installed, the Baja bumper. If you're interested in this bumper, we do have these available on the website. They are limited quantities. I think at the moment we have like 4 or 5 left. We try and do them in batches of 10. The last time it took us about 6 months to get these built. So if it's something that you've been thinking about, or your bumper, your stock one's all beat up, we do have these, but jump on them now before they all sell out. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed that. Hope you guys got a nice peek at it. When we get outside and get to run around, we'll do some better pictures and stuff to show it off better. But for now, I'm gonna call it here. Please consider liking and subscribing. Leave a comment if you got one. And with that, we'll catch you guys in the next video. Until then, stay safe and take care.